x squared minus px plus q is a factor of this cubic equation. Now if it's a factor of this cubic equation, that means that this will divide in with no remainder. And you're asked to show that this is the case, and this is the case. So the way to do this is we have to long divide it in. Okay, so it's going to be x cubed plus 3px squared plus 3qx plus r. It's going to be divided by x squared minus px plus q. So the first step is I divide x squared into x cubed and I get x. So then I multiply x by all of this. So that becomes x cubed minus px squared plus qx. Next step then is I change the signs. I change the signs, that becomes a plus and that becomes a minus, and that will cancel. 3px squared plus px squared will be 4px squared. 3qx minus qx is 2qx plus r. Okay, so to do it again, to divide x squared into this, well, if you divide it in, you get 4p. So then you multiply 4p by everything here. So it's 4px squared minus 4p squared x plus 4pq. And you change the signs again. So this will become a minus, this will become a plus, this will become a minus. So these will cancel out. Now, what are we expecting to happen here? Well, if we add these two together, we should get an answer of 0. And if we add these two together, we should get an answer of 0. So I'm going to write them out over here. So you should get, if you get 2qx plus 4p squared x, we should get an answer of 0. And r minus 4pq, we should also get 0. So what's r equal to? R is equal to 4pq. Is that any relevance up here? Not yet. Okay, so we're going to maybe do a bit here. What's common that we could take out? Well, we could divide across by x here. So you're left with 2q plus 4p squared equals to 0. So 2q is equal to minus 4p squared. Now if you divide across by 2, I'd be left with q is equal to minus 2p squared. That's exactly what I have here. Okay, so that's the first part of it. Now we're looking for r. Now we have r equals to this. What could we replace that in? Yes, we could. We could replace what q is in. So we could replace q with minus 2p squared. So r is equal to, if you multiply this out, you get minus 8pq. So this is what this is. So that's the first part. Okay. Second part then says, or part C, find the 3 roots of the equation. Okay. So there's a factor, and these are factors. Okay. So we look at x plus 4p for a second. That's a factor. We'll equal it to 0, and then by doing that, we find the root. Okay, so that's one root in terms of p. The other one then is found by factorizing out this. Okay, so how do we factorize out this? Well, we can't use guide numbers, so we're going to have to use the minus b formula. Okay, so here's the minus b formula, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so what's A? A is 1, B is minus p, and C is q. Okay, so I'm going to need a bit of space up here. So put it in. So it's minus p plus or minus the square root of minus p squared minus 4 times 1 times q all over 2 times 1. Okay, tidying it up. P plus or minus square root of p squared minus 4q all over 2. Now, we've no way of simplifying this. Now, we have to look back. What do we know q to be? Q is minus 2p squared. Okay, so I can write that as p plus or minus square root of p squared. Now, what's minus 4 times q? Minus 4 times that will become plus 8p squared all over 2. So basically what I'm doing there is I'm replacing q with this here, and I'm multiplying it out. Okay? So continuing on, I get p plus or minus the square root of 9p squared all over 2, and the square root of 9p squared is 3p, so it's p plus or minus 3p over 2. So what are my two answers? Well, it's going to be 4p over 2, which is 2p, and it's minus 2p over 2, which is minus p. So here is my answer for that. So x is equal to, and x is equal to. So there's my three answers for the three roots of this equation.